I'd been waiting and I had no idea it had gotten delivered. I walk home and my girlfriend's standing there and she holds it up and she's like, "Look what came for you." And like instantly I'm like cheesing real big, tear it open, bust out the record, get it spinning. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. This is S. Patrick Brooks of the Heavy Underground Farm Report. And I've got Kaleb Reiser. Kaleb plays for the band Black Moon Cult. Man, they have a new album coming out. Kaleb and I talked a couple months ago about it. Kaleb, how you been over the last couple months, buddy?
Been great, man. I think last we spoke, we were still waiting to get mixes and masters back from Tony Reed right before they were going out on the Pentagram tour. And I think we got them like 2 days before they left for tour.
But I got Kaleb Reiser here.
And
Sorry about that, man.
Oh, you're all good. And then since then, we've submitted the tracks to the vinyl plant, all of our artwork and everything. We just got test pressings like yesterday or a couple days ago. I just listened to it yesterday for the first time. So
tell me your initial impression of hearing yourself on vinyl on a really good label like Black Doomba, man. Tell me what you think.
I mean, it's like that's every musician's dream, So like I'd been waiting and like tracking the order, and it showed up a day early, but I was at work and I had no idea it had gotten delivered. So then I walk home and my girlfriend's standing there and she holds it up and she's like, "Look what came for you." And like instantly I'm like cheesing real big, tear it open, bust out the record, get it spinning. And I filmed that first needle drop for the bandmates so that they could experience it too.
Right on.
And of course it's like amazing, it was definitely like that's one of those like bucket list dream come true things that like you always want to hear yourself on a vinyl record, so I can't wait for everybody else to hear us too.
Man, I'm excited. Well, hey, you mentioned that you dropped the needle for your bandmates. Let's talk about your bandmates a little bit, man. I believe you have Kevin and Jeff. Jeff's the drummer and Kevin's the bass player.
Yep. Yeah.
Tell me. Why don't you give me a rundown on like how you guys got together or how you met these guys and what they add to the band for you, man. Your perspective of that.
Okay, so Jeff and I have been best friends for about 11 or 12 years now. We come from like the same little like small town like corncob field area of Ohio. I'm from Napoleon. He's from Hamler. No one's ever heard of these towns, and that's like it's like population of like a couple thousand type deal. So we found each other just because we were like the only two kids playing music around here. And then we used to be in a death metal band called Decapitus. Back in our early teens, and we did the whole kind of like local scene gigging, opening up for like a lot of bands like Black Dahlia Murder, Suffocation.
Oh, wow.
We were kind of like the hot young death metal band in Toledo for a while. We were opening for all of those bands, and then that band split up around the time that I turned 18, and when that happened, I kind of was looking for different musical avenues and stuff, and through a few other bands, it eventually led to Black Moon Cult. But yeah, Jeff and I have been playing together that entire time,
That relationship, you guys have known each other since you were like teenagers, and that's where a lot of really solid relationships happen, but also that's where your musical tastes are formed as well. So you guys played in a death metal band together. What was Jeff's reaction when you decided that you wanted to do something a little slower and more doomy?
We consider ourselves like a hard rock band, like we're into like the big fuzzy guitar sound and stuff, but we're way more inspired by bands like Captain Beyond or, like that kind of King Crimson, for example, that kind of, than we are Sleep, the real sludgy stuff, but we love that stuff too.
Right.
But Jeff is definitely...
So what was Jeff's reaction when you're like,
He's definitely like our kind of holdout metal guy in the band. Like, a lot of the thrashy elements that are in Black Moon Cult and a lot of the kind of speed that we do have, Jeff is pushing that a lot of times. Like he's still a very, he's very different from other drummers in this genre. But at the same time, like Jeff grew up, his dad was playing in like a classic rock cover band his whole childhood. So he grew up on
Cool.
like one of his favorite bands is Boston. So he didn't have a
Oh, right on.
problem wanting to explore other territories. And one of the things that kind of ended our tenure in death metal was just like we were gigging constantly and like 90% of the bands just sounded exactly like Cannibal Corpse, and it was starting to get
Yeah.
uninspiring,
Yeah.
And I think metal's gotten cooler and grown beyond that. Extreme metal in like the last 10 years has grown beyond that, but at the time it was just getting really stale for us. So I think like
Sure.
we all needed a change at that point.
What's cool is that you're, involved in the scene right now, and I know you have been for a while, but right now that the scene is really evolving away from the Black Sabbath clones. I think that maybe it's probably a little unfairly labeled in the scene, but that all of the bands are Black Sabbath clones, which isn't, but man, there's really an expansion of sound right now, and you guys are part of that. Do you think that's ultimately like good for the scene? Sorry, I know I'm going off on a wild tangent here, but do you think that's a good thing? Are you glad that there's more styles being embraced?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I saw John that runs Planet Desert Rock. I saw him refer to a big chunk of bands that like we're really into. He referred to them as like the new wave of American heavy psych or some. I believe that was the term he used, and I was like,
Yeah, that's
that
a
is
good term.
perfect, because I think the traditional stoner and doom stuff definitely does have that kind of Sabbath attachment, but I think like a lot of bands that are coming
Yeah.
out now, like aside from like down-tuned kind of fuzzy guitars, like a band like All Them Witches or King Buffalo doesn't have that much in common with Sabbath at all. I hear way more like
Right.
Pink Floyd, or like in the case of All Them Witches, they're really into like the Grateful Dead and the whole kind of jam scene. So
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
and
Yeah.
and and those bands are like quickly becoming some of the biggest bands that the genre's ever had. You know, like
Yep.
I know here in Toledo, stoner rock scene is kind of dry. Um, we don't even get much stoner rock coming through just because the city really just doesn't have that kind of draw for it. Uh,
Okay.
the bands that tour through usually either hit Cleveland or Detroit. Toledo's kind of right in the middle, and we don't see a
Sure.
whole lot of it. It's more of like a hardcore kind of town. Um,
Okay.
but King Buffalo came to Toledo in February, and it was sold out. So that just goes to show
That's
you
awesome.
like what that expansion of sounds can bring to the genre. Like I think it's cool that we have this like self-reliant, like everybody's friends kind of like scene. Like it reminds me of punk rock and the whole
Yeah.
kind of DIY thing. But
Yeah.
it is nice to have
Yeah.
those bands that are like breaking through and getting some mainstream attention. Like,
Of
Elder was
course.
touring with Tool. That's one example
Yeah.
I can think of
Sure.
recently. It's like, I think if we get more bands continue going in that direction, I think like it could get bigger than anyone ever even thought it could.
Well, let's. Yeah, I certainly think that the music's good enough to make that happen, man. Well, hey, I
Absolutely.
know we went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but let's talk about Kevin a little bit, the bass player for your band.
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
me how you guys hooked up with Kevin.
So the story of this one is actually pretty funny. Our original bass player,
Good, right on.
we had booked our first tour, and this was a few years ago at this point, and that's like the thing that like, oh my god, we're finally going on tour, we're getting to do a tour. Original bass player quits 2 weeks out from the tour. I don't want to tour, this isn't what I want to do anymore. Yeah, that kind of deal. I think his girlfriend's birthday was on one of those dates, so that probably played into it a little bit. So
No, that's rough.
so we end up putting out a last minute like search, like feeler, like are there any bass players out there that can like
Yeah.
learn this set of material in 2 weeks, which that alone isn't an easy feat. And then like also
No, your music isn't like 3 chord stuff, man. I mean,
no,
yeah.
and then also to get the time off work and go on to it, it was like we were like positive we were gonna have to cancel the tour. And then through a friend of a friend, Kevin gets recommended to us. So he was like a complete stranger to us before, and he was kind of like, "Yeah, I dig the tunes. I'll join." And he like came in, had the songs down in like 2 rehearsals, which like blew our minds.
Right on.
He's also a piano teacher for a living, so he brought kind of all this synth and piano knowledge to the band. So that was
Yeah,
something we were real
cool.
excited on. And then he hopped right in, went on that first tour with us. You know, he's like the best guy. So just the easiest to get along with guy in the world, the easiest guy to work with in the world. And he's been just like Kevin is the rock in this band, you know? That he is
Right
like
on.
set he dropped in out of nowhere, and then he has been just like the most solid, consistent member of this band ever since. Like Jeff and I both like just adore Kevin.
Dude, that's fantastic. Chemistry is, especially if you're spending a lot of time on the road, and I know that's how you guys made a name for yourself. It's critical, you have to like see each other every day.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
fantastic that you guys fell into that kind of situation. Man, that's a great story. You know what another great story is, Caleb? And I know we kind of talked about this a little bit the first time we talked, but it's such a good story. Tell me, like, most bands like have to record their own stuff and really fight to get a recording contract, and you guys like kind of had a really fortunate thing. I mean, it was definitely driven by your talent and your hard work, but tell me how you guys got hooked up with Black Doomba Records.
Good. So I always have to give a shout out to our guy Eric Lenhoff for this one. He's a local guy here in Ohio that goes around to pretty much if there's a Stoner Rock
Yeah,
Doom show happening, he is there, and he's always filming
I
every
think
band
Eric's
set.
listening right now, buddy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Eric, man. But he was posting a lot of our
So,
footage, and he's good friends with Patrick Salarno from Grave Next Door, who is A&R at Black Doomba. So I think Eric kind of passed along some of our footage to Pat, and then Pat was, in his words, blown away, got a hold of us, was like,
yeah.
kind of was gauging our interest. We were like, yeah, we'd absolutely love to, have a conversation with the label and stuff. He passed us on to Tommy. Tommy was a sponsor of the Maryland Doomfest, which he is every year. And we just so happened to get a last minute slot when a band dropped off. So we were like, well, we'll be at the same fest in about a month. So we kind of put the conversation on the shelf, and then met at the festival. He saw us live, and then pretty much the second we got off stage, he came up and was like, all right, so let's make this deal happen. And, by the time we were eating breakfast
That's
together
crazy.
at the hotel the next morning, we had pretty much like agreed on, what both parties would need out of the deal. And, it's
Dude,
been
that's
amazing
insane.
working with Tommy ever since, too.
Dude, that's an amazing story. Hey, man, let's take a quick look. I'm actually like figuring out how to like use my phone and look at comments at the same time. So I mentioned that Eric Linhoff had joined. So we got a shout out to Eric. I got Patrick Newman on. Oh, he's thinks I got a new haircut, which I did. All right, sorry.
Newman.
Hey, hey, man, if anybody has a question or anything, you type it into the chat. And we'll see if we can get to that. But thanks for everybody for listening. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hey, back to Caleb. Caleb, man, you guys, you haven't revealed, but man, are you gonna let us know what the name of the album is?
Uh, I'm not sure if I can say. If you go back in some
Fair
reels,
enough. We'll back off. We'll
if
back
you
off on that.
I'll give you this. If you go back into our Facebook before we got signed, when we were just starting to work on the label. We were letting it out
Yeah.
because we didn't know we were going to get signed, and it was, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to find out,
Yeah, no, that's
you can find it, but I'm not going to say it right here.
all right. That's fair enough, man.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Tell me, Bud, you got your artwork reveal coming up. Can you tell me, do you want to talk about the artists that you guys have used?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that yet?
Yep, absolutely. That was
Right
Mike
on.
Stewart, which is the drummer from our label mates, Thunderbird Divine,
Okay.
which I love Thunderbird Divine. That was one of the best albums last year. Just across the whole
I dig
scene,
that album
Black
too, man.
Doomba, just like one of the best albums last year was Thunderbird Divine's Little Wars. And Mike did the cover art for that album. So when we signed to the label, and I knew that Mike was a label mate then, I reached
Yeah.
out to him, and he did everything. The whole kind of like centerfold for us, the stickers for the vinyl variants and stuff. He's going to be doing a lyric video for us. So
Tell me, Caleb, how important is the art aspect to you in releasing your material? It's like something that you guys like put a lot of thought into, and you know, it was. And
we put a lot of thought into it, and we had a strong vision in mind, and we kind of like gave Mike some ideas, and then he kind of countered back with like a few different ideas, and there was one specific one that Mike sent back where it was like, it was so different from what we had in mind, but when we saw it, it was just like, this is perfect. And it doesn't look like any other album cover that I can think of in the stoner rock genre
right
at the
on.
moment. It's got a very unique look to it. It reflects the music and some of the kind of world influences, some of the like sitar raga music influences that are on the record.
Oh hell yeah!
There's hints of that. So it's one of those things where if I was looking at it, I wouldn't know exactly what style of music it is right off the rip, you know?
Right on. Cool.
It's psychedelic and it's cool and it's trippy, but it's not at all, you know, people
Yeah,
are
I
going to
know.
love it.
Yeah, man. I know that our scene definitely gets locked in on some particular imagery. I may be guilty of that myself. Um, so yeah, but no, dude, I think that's freaking awesome that you have you're creating something with an artist, man. I think that's like super important in our scene to like, you know, incorporate real live human beings doing art. So I appreciate that about you guys, man. You know, moving into, you know, along with the art theme, you guys have a new video coming out as well. You're going to shoot a new video, right, at the end of the month.
Yep. We have
And so tell me a little bit about that, Caleb. Like I know guys have a pretty cool plan for that.
yeah, we have a 3-day run of shows coming up at the end of April with Megaton Communion and Stormtoker. We're going to be hitting, I got to look at my paper real quick. On the 24th, we'll be in Akron at Afterlife live performance venue. The 25th, we'll be at the 5 o'clock lounge in Lakewood. And then the 26th, we'll be at the Rex Theater in Morenci, Michigan. And that's the day that we'll be doing this video shoot. We'll be there in the early hours of the morning, starting to shoot some of the stuff that we need to do. And then we'll also be filming that night at the show. And one thing that we're trying to do is get as many bikers there as we can. We need tons and tons of motorcycles for this music video. So if you're a biker and you like heavy, awesome, kick-ass rock bands, there will be a discount.
That weirdly seems to go hand in hand.
I know, right? It's perfect.
Right. So bikers, man, out there, bikers, like this is your chance to like probably get into a music video, or at least like probably more importantly to you, your bike gets into the music video. So where's that location again, Caleb? Which one is that?
The
Rex Theater?
The Rex Theater, and go ahead, man.
You said no. I'm sorry. You said you were offering free cupcakes to all the bikers.
Free cupcakes to all bikers, $5 off the door. Free
Oh,
popcorn.
that's much better.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. $5 off the door if you're a biker is a freaking kick-ass deal. It like buys your first beer. Hey, tell me, bud, you're doing a live, you like parts of your video are going to be live, and I'm curious, is that important to you because you guys have kind of built your following doing live shows? Was that any part of the thought process, or is it just coincidental?
Um, Definitely, it definitely was, like we're definitely a live band, so we wanted, um, you know, it'll be about a 50-50, because it's an 8.5 minute
Yeah, cool.
song that we're doing the video for. So we had plenty
Yeah.
of time to fill. So we've got a really good director, Eric Nye out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. And over the last month or so, we've been putting together props and a really strong, like sci-fi inspired storyline. Like we all love like 60s through 80s B movies. Like Jeff and I grew up on trauma movies. If you go to our YouTube channel, there's some videos of us like a couple years ago for show promos. We would make like crappy little like B movie things with like crappy special effects to like promote the shows and stuff. Uh,
Oh, dude, those are the best.
so we've been coming up. We're really big film fans as well as music fans. So we wanted to do something really cinematic and cool, especially since it's going to be our first music video.
Right, man. I'm just, I'm going ape for that, dude. I'm literally going ape for that.
Oh yeah,
Is that what I should be doing?
that is
Should
what
I
you
be
should be
going ape
doing.
for that?
Oh yeah.
Well, right on. Well, that's all I'll say about that, dude. Man, I'm super stoked to see that. Um, Bud, you mentioned the tour, and you're working with Super Cool Booking now.
Yep, yep. We
Patrick Brink's operation.
Yep. Patrick of Volume. We linked, man, at the beginning of the year, probably when he was booking Volume's upcoming May tour. We linked
Yeah.
over that, and then we just started chatting and really hit it off. Had a couple phone conversations, and then he let me know that he was starting up Super Cool. And we've been, booking tours is like a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass.
I can't even imagine.
This tour that we'll get to right after this uh, was booked entirely by myself and Joe from Megaton Communion, this upcoming June tour. Um,
Yeah.
and it took us probably a month and a half to fill out about 10 dates, just across the country. Just that's how it is. And then we had Patrick booking a West Coast tour for us in the fall right now. And I think it took him about a week and a half to fill the dates that we wanted him to fill. So that's like, it's such a weight off our shoulders having Patrick involved in handling the booking on our end of things now.
I, yeah, man. Honestly, like, I have enough trouble, like, going out to dinner, let alone, like, making reservations in different cities to go play shows. Um, Man, are you guys, coming to Denver by any chance?
We will be. We will be in the fall. Absolutely.
Right on. Are you just, hey, Caleb, is your plan just to continuously, like, tour the hell out of this album?
Yeah, yeah. It won't be out by June tour, I don't think. If we get really, really lucky and things go really fast with pressing, maybe it'll be out by
Yeah.
June, but I don't think it'll be. But by September, it'll definitely be out. And then we plan to just like all next year, we're trying to be on the road as much as we can be.
Do you have, hey, Matt, do you have a release date for your first single then? Or is it going to be released simultaneously with the video?
I don't have anything right now. It's
Fair
still
enough.
it's
Cool.
still all up in
Groovy.
the air. Yep, yep.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, Bud, tell me, what else? Yeah, go
Luckily,
ahead.
that's all out of my hands. We handed everything over to Tommy. Tommy's great at his job, so I'm just trying. Whenever he
Yeah.
tells me that is, then we'll let everybody else know.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, I know we are all really looking forward to it, man. I mean, I'm so excited for you guys. I'm excited to see you in Denver. You guys, hey, if you're checking this out and you haven't heard Black Moon Cult, they have a really good collection of videos on YouTube. I encourage you to go out there, and we're going to link a song at the end of this interview so you can check them out. Kaleb's just a crazy good guitar player, and the rest of the band's just tight as shit, man. You guys are going to fucking dig these guys. Man, Kaleb, what else? Man, I'm going to give you just the floor, buddy. Go ahead. What else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's announce this June tour, man.
Let's do it.
All
the
right.
Doom tour's coming up.
Absolutely. The people are hearing it here first. From June 6th through June 16th, Black Moon Cult and Megaton Communion will be on tour. Few Midwest dates, and then mostly the East Coast. I'll just go down the list of dates right now, and then some of the local support that we have on each of these dates. On the 6th, we'll be at the Corktown Tavern in Detroit, Michigan, and we have Angel of Mars and Solar Monolith on the bill.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to try not to interrupt.
No, I'm so excited.
You got to give me an oh damn at the end of every announcement, though. That's an oh damn.
Oh, yeah. And then on the 7th, this is a really big one. It is in partnership with Grand Rapids Doomfest people. We're bringing the first ever Grand Rapids Doomfest Presents showcase, and it'll be us, Megaton Communion, Chokesetter, and Grave Next Door.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that is at
that's a oh damn.
Mulligan's in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that show is absolutely free, so there's no reason not to come out. I know Chokesetter was on Grand Rapids Doomfest last year.
Yep.
We played with them last November, and they're absolutely fucking incredible. And then Grave Next Door is obviously a badass band.
Oh, yeah.
Label
and Mulligan says where they're having the first night for the Grand Rapids Doomfest this year. It'll be a good preview of that venue. That is absolutely a fantastic announcement. I'm sorry, go on, Kaleb.
Oh, you're all good. Then on the 8th, we'll be in Chicago at Liars Club, and we've got Chokesetter once again, and then we've got Shadow of Jupiter.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Just as a music fan,
holy shit!
This tour is like 50%.
You weren't kidding.
Me taking my own music on the road, and then it's 50% me just like getting to see all of my favorite fucking bands. You know?
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we'll be taking a day off and hopping over to Philadelphia, where we'll be at Century Bar with Thunderbird Divine. Day after that, we'll be in Stamford, Connecticut at T's Kitchen with our friends in People's Club. They're more of just like a party punk, just like one of the most fun bands that you could see live. Definitely look up their stuff. And if you're in the Connecticut area, see People's Club. They're fucking amazing.
Right on.
Day after that, we have a show. Right now it's a day off, but we have something in the works, so that'll be getting announced soon. Then on the 13th, we'll be at Cafe Nola in Frederick, Maryland, and right now we have Moonsinger, and then there's another slot that we're looking to fill right now. So if you're a band in Frederick, Maryland, and you want to hop on this one, get a hold of me. Then we'll be at Chapel of Bones in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we've got Lie Heavy, my friend Carla Gell's band. Absolutely fucking incredible. Cannot wait for that one. And then Evil from Raleigh is also opening up that show. And then we'll be rounding out the tour in Lexington, Kentucky at Owl's Bar. And we have no local support on that one right now. So if you're a Lexington band and you want to be on the bill, go ahead and get at me.
Yeah, man. Cool, bud. That's an amazing set of dates, an amazing set of support, man. I am so freaking excited for you, dude.
Man. Yeah.
This is monstrous, man. I'm fucking so stoked. Kaleb, Dude, I am grateful for you to come on the show, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. Hey, let's check that chat though one more time. Oh wait, I have Patrick. I believe that's Patrick, not Patrick Newman, but Patrick Keene, perhaps. Adam was like reacting to your listed dates with a damn. And I don't know. Yeah. And man, dude, I'm stoked that Eric is proud of you. Eric is proud of us all. Thanks, Eric, man.
You,
hey,
Eric.
I'm pretty sure that's Eric, man. Hey, dude, I know you've done a lot for Kaleb, man. Thanks for listening, buddy. Appreciate you guys. Hey, I'm gonna Kaleb, unless you have anything else, bud, I think we'll wrap it up, man. I'm gonna get this out on YouTube in the next, hopefully I'm gonna shoot for tonight, but by tomorrow, hopefully, and then bud, we'll keep covering you while you go on tour. Dude, I'm super excited to hear news about your album release. And of course, when singles start dropping, dude, we'll be happy to promote those, man.
Oh, thanks so much, man. Thank you for,
of course,
giving this band the time on your show. We love coming on. Next time I'll get one of the other guys on. They work
Heck yeah, that would
a little bit more than I do, so they were busy tonight.
Totally.
Next time we'll at least get Jeff on next time.
Right on. Jeff, Kevin, hey man, I know you guys, your contributions to the band are just amazing. You guys are three stellar musicians. I love a kick-ass power trio, and you guys are definitely that, man. So, hey, I'm going to sign off, man. Thanks for tuning in live. This is S. Patrick Brooks at Kaleb Reiser from Black Moon Cult. You guys look for this on YouTube soon. I'm going to let you go. Hey, Kaleb, if you could hang on for just a minute, though, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody.